You saw him in Thunderbolts, just a glimpse. A man with the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns, bending the laws of physics, reality, maybe even death itself. And now you're asking, who the hell is that guy? That wasn't Thor. That wasn't a mutant. That was someone else entirely. Someone more dangerous, more unstable, someone even the Winter Soldier looked terrified of. Marvel didn't just introduce a new hero, they quietly dropped a ticking time bomb into the heart of the MCU. If you walked out of the theater thinking, is that Marvel's version of Homelander? You're not alone, because this isn't just a power explainer, this is the tragic, terrifying origin of Marvel's most unpredictable force. This is Sentry, perhaps the MCU's most powerful hero and its biggest threat. So, let's talk about what actually happened in the Thunderbolts movie. We meet Bob Reynolds, not a superhero, not a soldier, not a god, a recovering addict. Quiet, broken, someone with a dark past, searching for meaning. And when the US government starts experimenting with a new kind of super soldier serum, it's Bob who signs up. The lab? Not some top secret bunker in New York, no, it's in Malaysia. And the formula? It's not just another version of what made Captain America, this one's different. It's the golden Sentry serum. And the moment it hits Bob's bloodstream, he becomes something else entirely. Now, if you've read the comics, this might sound familiar, because that's always been the core of Sentry's story. Robert Reynolds was just a regular guy, a deeply troubled one, who found the serum and took it. In the comics, he wasn't recruited. He stumbled across it in a forgotten lab and drank it while looking to feed his addiction. That one mistake turned him into a being with the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns, but it also broke his mind. And that's the key part. Whether it's the film or the comics, Bob doesn't just become a superhero, he becomes two people. With the light of the Sentry comes the darkness of the void. The movie hints at it. The visions, the instability, the dread in Bucky's voice when he says, "He's not one of us." That's because the Void isn't just some evil clone or separate villain, it's him. It's his trauma, his guilt, his fears, weaponized. In the comics, every time Sentry tries to do good, the Void comes back stronger. And it's not metaphorical. We're talking about a being that can kill gods and level continents. And it lives inside the same man who wants to save people. In the comics, things get so bad that Sentry erases himself from the world's memory. Everyone, Spider-Man, the Avengers, even himself, forgot he existed, because that was the only way to stop the Void. Imagine that, being so powerful that forgetting you were ever alive is the safest move for the planet. And now, the MCU version is just waking up. In Thunderbolts, we only saw the surface, the lab, the aftermath, the trembling fear on everyone's faces. But make no mistake, this isn't just a story about a new superhuman. It's about a man at war with himself and the monster he brings with him. Now let's get into the part you've been dying to know since you walked out of the theater. Just how powerful is Sentry? Because what we saw in Thunderbolts, the levitation, the light, the fear in Bucky's voice barely scratches the surface. Let's start with the basics. Sentry has the classic power set dialed up to 11. Super strength, flight, invulnerability, enhanced senses, all of that, but on a scale that makes most Avengers look like street-level fighters. In the comics, he's lifted over 100 tons without breaking a sweat. He's flown from Earth to the sun in a matter of minutes, and he's taken punches from the Hulk, World War Hulk, and walked away like it was nothing. But here's where things go cosmic. Sentry doesn't just have raw power, he has molecular manipulation. That's right, he can literally disassemble matter and reassemble it with his mind. He once regenerated his own body from a single molecule. He's been torn apart, erased from existence, and come back. Because death? For him, barely an inconvenience. And it gets crazier. Sentry has reality warping potential. Not on a Doctor Strange or Scarlet Witch level where you need spells or rituals, Sentry can just will it. He once erased every memory of his existence from every mind on Earth. Not with tech, not with magic, just with his own power. That's how unstable and unlimited his abilities are. And then there's the Void. You cannot talk about Sentry's power without talking about that. The Void isn't just some evil alter ego, it's a dark god that exists within him. When it takes over, things get apocalyptic. The Void has torn through Asgard, wiped out legions of heroes, and once killed Ares, the literal Greek god of war, by ripping him in half like paper. Sentry tried to stop it, But in that moment, he was the Void. That's what makes him terrifying. He's both the hero and the villain, the cure and the disease. Even in Thunderbolts, we saw a glimpse of this in that lad escape scene. No spoilers, but let's just say people didn't die from bullets or blades. They were annihilated, disintegrated, like they never existed. And that wasn't even full Void mode. That was Bob holding back. So when fans ask, is Sentry stronger than Thor, stronger than Hulk? The real answer is, he's beyond comparison. When he's stable, he's a world-breaking powerhouse. But when the Void takes control, he's a walking endgame. Okay, so now we talk about the real problem. The part that makes Sentry not just powerful, but terrifying, the Void. Because here's the thing, Sentry isn't a one-man super army. He's a ticking time bomb. Every time he uses his powers, every time he tries to be the hero the world needs, the Void grows stronger. Why? Because they're the same person, two sides of the same shattered mind. The light and the dark. Bob Reynolds is the host, and inside him lives a force of destruction that wants to come out. In Thunderbolts, we got our first taste. Those moments when Bob stares blankly, when he trembles, when the air around him starts to ripple. Those aren't side effects. That's the Void creeping in. You can see it on the faces of the other Thunderbolts. They're not looking at a teammate, they're looking at something they don't know how to control. In the comics, the Void isn't just evil, it's cosmic horror. Think, giant tendrils of shadow, shape-shifting into nightmarish forms, moving like smoke and ink, killing without mercy. The Void doesn't just fight heroes, it corrupts minds. It feeds on fear, and it's smart, manipulative, insidious. It's not trying to destroy the world because it's angry, it's doing it because it knows it can. It's not just the power, it's the unpredictability. When Sentry's mind starts to fracture, the Void doesn't knock politely. It breaks the door down. In one storyline, the Void kills over 1 million people in a single appearance. 1 million. And Bob blames himself because he's not sure if he let it happen or wanted it to. And that's the heart of the tragedy. Sentry wants to be a hero. Deep down, he wants to do good. But every act of heroism comes with a price. The brighter his light shines, the darker the Void becomes. It's not just a supervillain. It's his shadow, his guilt, his sickness, and it's never going away. Alright, let's settle the debate that's already exploding in the comments. Where does Sentry rank among Marvel's powerhouses? Let's start with the heavy hitters. Thor, a literal god, wielding Mjolnir and channeling cosmic lightning. Captain Marvel, absorbed the power of an Infinity Stone and tanked a headbutt from Thanos. Scarlet Witch, bent reality and nearly ended the multiverse in Multiverse of Madness. Hulk, the embodiment of rage, stronger the angrier he gets. But here's the difference, they all have limits. Sentry, not so much. Sentry doesn't draw power from an object. He doesn't need rage or runes or energy absorption. His power comes from the power of 1 million exploding suns. That's not poetic, that's his baseline. He exists on a completely different spectrum. Take Hulk, for example. In World War Hulk, he smashed through every hero Earth had. But in the comics, Sentry met him blow for blow, and when the dust settled, only those two were still standing. Thor might be a god, but Sentry has physically overpowered him. And Wanda? She warps reality, yes, but Sentry can rewrite minds. He once erased the memory of his own existence from the entire planet. Without magic or tech, even cosmic entities are cautious. And then there's the Void. If you factor in that part of him, he's not just top tier, he's one of the most dangerous forces in Marvel. Period. He's not a team player. He's a one-man extinction-level event. The only ones who arguably surpass or rival him are reality warpers like Franklin Richards, the Living Tribunal. It's not about strength. It's about narrative scale. Sentry exists in that weird, terrifying space between human tragedy and cosmic force. So where does he rank? Let's put it this way. If you're making a Marvel power tier list, you don't ask where Sentry fits. You ask, how do we stop him if he snaps? Because when he does, no one's safe. So now that Thunderbolt has cracked open the door, let's talk about the big question. What does Sentry mean for the future of the MCU? Because here's the thing, Marvel didn't just introduce a new character, they introduced a new tier. Up until now, we've seen powerhouses like Thor, Scarlet Witch, and Captain Marvel. But Sentry? He's not playing the same game. He's something else. He's a walking paradox, both savior and apocalypse. And the MCU knows it. In Thunderbolts, Marvel did something smart. They didn't unleash him, not fully. They let us feel his presence. The fear, the weight, the silence in every scene he's in. That's intentional. This is the slow burn. The MCU is planting seeds, because when Sentry finally loses control, when the Void breaks loose, it's not going to be a subplot. It's going to be a cinematic event. Think about it. What team in the current MCU could stop him? The Avengers? Disbanded. The Thunderbolts? Shaken. Marvel might be setting up their next big conflict. Not Kang, not Galactus, but Sentry versus the Marvel Universe. So if you're as obsessed as we are with where this story is going, smash that like button and subscribe for more deep dives, breakdowns, and theories.